Welcome to this Datapack tutorial. In this video, you will learn how to find the pack format you need for your Minecraft version, what a function is, how to fire a function based off a scoreboard value, and a few more tiny tips. I hope you enjoy. In the world creation screen, enable cheats, then in the More tab, you'll find the Datapacks button. Open the pack folder, which will show a temporary folder where you can start to make your project. First, make a folder and name it what you would like. For the next step to work, you will need file name extensions enabled. On the screen, I've shown you how to do this on Windows 11. Make a new file and rename it to pack.mcmeta, then press yes on the pop-up. Open this file with your preferred editor. I'm using Visual Studio 2022. In the description, I will have the Minecraft Wiki pack format link for you. We'll be looking at these first code blocks. The first copy-paste code block is if you want your data pack to show that it only works on one Minecraft version. The second is if you would like to define a minimum and maximum version for the pack. I'll be using the second code block in this tutorial. Now you will find the correct value that represents the Minecraft version you are using. For me, that's 101.1. Replace the number with the one for your version. Feel free to edit the description to what you'd like. Never forget, always save. Back in Minecraft, under Available, you should see your data pack with a description that you made. If this is red, you made a mistake in the pack.mcmeta. If there's no pack in the list, you probably made an error copy pasting from the wiki. To double check if your data pack is enabled, you can run the datapack list command and see it there. Up next, you will find your save file. This can be different if you're using a third party like CurseForge or Modrinth. The default location can be found by going to File Explorer and typing %appdata% into the address bar. Open .minecraft, saves, your save name, and then datapacks. For a third party like CurseForge, you can click on your profile, press the triple dots to the left of the play button, open folder, saves, your save name, and datapacks. You are making good progress on getting your first function to fire. Before that, we need to set up the correct folders and files that we need for our functions to fire. Making our way back to the Minecraft wiki, we can find on the Datapack page the format you need for setting up a basic project. Looking at the format here, we can see that inside of the My Datapack folder is the pack.mcmeta we made earlier to get Minecraft to show the pack. Next, we will be using functions, so let's make a data folder inside of the project file. Inside the data folder, make another folder named after your data pack. This should not have any capital letters in it. In the same location, make another folder called Minecraft. This should not have any capital letters in it as well. Navigate into the Minecraft folder and make yet another folder named Tags. Inside the Tags folder, make a folder named Function. And inside the function folder, make two .json files named tick and load. Inside the load.json file, I will have the code block needed for you in the description. Just fill out in between the two parentheses with your case-sensitive file name, followed with a colon, then load with no spaces. Do the same thing for the tick.json file. Instead of load, after the colon, put tick. What we have just done is set up our data pack to run two functions two different ways. The load function that we make will run once on world open and or on reload. The tick function that we make will run every single in-game tick, which is 20 times a second by default in Minecraft. Go back to where your case-sensitive folder is and open it. Make another folder named function. Inside the function folder, we'll make our first custom MC functions named tick and load.mc function. Open the load.mc function file. Let's set up a simple indicator to let us know that the data pack has loaded. We can do that with the tell raw command. The tell raw command takes a selector, which we can see here there are many ways to select players and mobs. We will want to let everyone know on load since this command will be ran as the server and not as the player. We're going to remove the backslash, copy the command, and paste it into the load.mc function file. Don't forget to save. Now if we go ahead and reload our data pack, it should say the message that you wrote. Let's go ahead and set up our scoreboard objectives that will keep track of when we are or are not sneaking. There are a lot of scoreboard objectives. As you can see here, there's hundreds that you can choose from. Sneak time will increment every tick while the player is sneaking. This is what we're going to go with. Let's go ahead and add that scoreboard objective into our load function. Now if we reload and check the scoreboard objective list command, you can see here that there is a crouching objective. Now for every player, they'll receive score based on how long they've been sneaking. And we can use this along with a sneak check to calculate when they're sneaking and fire a function. Let's make that crouch check objective by adding a dummy scoreboard objective. What this means is that nothing will affect the number unless if we perform an operation onto it. Go ahead and add that to your load.mc function file. And now if you reload and check the objective list, you can see the crouching and crouch check are both there. This next step is optional, however I like to do it on most scoreboards that I'm updating. I'm simply checking to see if a player has a score for the scoreboard, and then if there is no score, setting the score to 0. This is a good way to instantiate players if you would like to do that for a data pack of your own. Since we are using a dummy function for crouch check, we're going to run an execute command every tick to keep track of crouching. This command checks everyone's score of themselves, crouch check, and compares it to themselves of crouching. And if it's not the same, it's going to set crouch check to the value of crouching, basically giving us an opportunity every single tick to fire a function based on crouching. Never forget, always save. As you can see, crouching and crouch check are now the same. As I crouch, crouching goes up and crouch check goes up. And we know that crouch check is only going up based off of the command that we're executing in the tick function. So let's make a command in between the instantiation of the player and the update of the crouch check and run something like spawn TNT. We will be using a function inside of this command to isolate the effect of the TNT to better edit it. Just like the tick and load MC function, we will have to make this function inside of our function folder of our data pack. Go ahead and make that file now. Once again, we'll be using an execute command, but this time we have unless entity is TNT with a distance of 0 to 3, limit of 1, and sort by nearest. What this will do is it will say, hey, there is one TNT with a distance of 0 to 3 from the executor, which happens to be the player, and it'll sort by nearest, so it won't pick up any other TNT on the server. Let's test out the command before we add it to the function. One TNT works. Let's see what happens when we try to spam the command close to it. As you can see, it did not summon the second TNT. And when I am the correct distance away, it does. When I am not the correct distance away, it does not. Looks like the command is working as expected. Let's try it out. Huh, it doesn't seem to be working. I wonder why that is. Let's take a look at the order that we execute our functions. That looks okay. Maybe it has to do something with the new function that we just made. Let's try manually running our function. Oh, that seems to work. Let's see if our function is firing when we're crouching by adding a simple say message into it. That seems to be working too. So the function is firing, but where is our TNT? Let's try adding a simple selector at the beginning of the command and see if that works. That didn't work either. If the selector doesn't work, let's try at ourself as well to give it a position. Looks like the position is all we needed to add. It must have been spawning at the world spawn instead of at the player when it was firing the function. This is pretty fun, but I think we might be able to tweak some things around to make it a little bit more of a blast. What if we also added speed onto the player so we can get to that minimum distance more quickly while crouching? This is still pretty slow. I think we can amp it up a little bit. There we go. Now this is really a TNT run. And with that, you've made your first data pack that fires based off of an objective that summons TNT based off of an entity that may or may not be there. The amount of things that you can achieve in Minecraft with data packs is endless, whether it be destroying things with TNT, creating fun and unique game modes, or simply adding a small mechanic while crouching, like regeneration over time. Truly is in the eye of the beholder, and I hope that I have given you the tools to make something unique and fun for others. Thank you so much for watching, and please keep crafting and mining. Bye bye.